Okay, good evening, folks. It's about 7:02. Yeah, we just poured ourselves some herbal wine. Cheers. It's been an interesting day on the board. A record post. There was a purpose for that post, and some people refuse to look beyond what the purpose is of the post. The purpose is to look beyond matter state. If we're going to be only looking at the matter state, Master Fast wouldn't exist. And we'd keep doing the old things that we were always doing. Master Fast works because of the concepts of looking beyond matter state. I've been ridiculed from day one, left, right, and center. And it continues, which is okay. I'm okay with it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gone public with sharing freely. It's all fine. But you know, I don't have all the answers, folks. Far from it, and I mentioned it many times. We're just barely scratching the surface on this knowledge of plasma. Barely scratching the surface. And by barely scratching the surface, read the testimonials. Something has been started to be able to help people with health issues like never before. And if we're gonna, remain with our old beliefs and programming and not want to expand, we're not going to be able to go any further. I don't know how many of you have read the posts I'm talking about. I mentioned that vegans, I wasn't picking on vegans. It has nothing to do with vegans. I'm pro-vegan. I support what they do. I used to call myself a vegan for many years, for a long time. Many, many, many years. And I dropped that for certain reasons. But I said vegans claim to, they don't eat any animal products at all, or want to kill any animals, and they don't want to do any harm. But yet they eat living plants. That's the statement I made. And it stirred, it's still going on. The post is still going on as we speak here. You need probably a couple hours to read all the posts on there. But it's great. It's a great way to get people's creativity stirred up, and emotions. A lot of emotions. A lot of emotions. People are attached to their belief systems, as I was. And we all have that. So we must learn. Well, we don't have to. Who am I? I must learn to keep my mind wide open. I've come a long way in the last few years. Since 1990, it was when I started. But the last few years, a lot of things have changed in my thinking. Completely different way of thinking. Even in the last year, if you watch my first few videos to what I'm talking about now, there's a lot of changes. Keep expanding. I'm not putting any limits, because once you do that, you're going to set yourself up for failure in anything. Life is a roller coaster ride, emotional roller coaster ride, and emotion is seed of all disease. I keep saying that for good reason. The emotion is what creates our reality and our physicality. You know, our emotion rides through our bloodstream, and our physicality flows through our lymphatic system in the body of the man. So we're tied to this physicality, and we're here to experience certain things for our soul expression. You know, we all have lessons to learn. That's why we're here. But to limit ourselves at saying that, I want to be vegan because I don't want to kill animals, and in the meantime, you're taking life forms of plants. It's an oxymoron, in my opinion. Like I said, I'm looking at it not in physicality. I'm looking at it at other levels. And when you go beyond matter, you can't kill, you can't destroy. You can only transform energy. We can't create it or destroy it. We can only transform all forms of energy. Everything already exists since the beginning of time. Everything always was, everything always will be, and we only have the now to work with. It's I was looking at ways that would stir up some emotions in people, and it did do that. That was his purpose. Some more than others. Some I believe got my view of thinking. A lot of people think I'm a wacko. That's okay. No big deal. That's where I'm at. The universe is vast. We're a speck of dust in the whole universe, and it keeps expanding and expanding and expanding, and it's always in motion. Any stagnation is where we find disease. So we need to keep things flowing. Being stuck on one thing is disease in my mind. So we need to keep expanding and keep things flowing. And we need to look at what happens once we leave these bodies. These are temporary. A lot of false assumptions are being made that we need plants to survive. We need to eat. We need to eat physical foods. These are assumptions. These are theories. These theories have been proven wrong. There's many people living with no food and water. Many, and it's growing all the time. So when people are stuck to these beliefs, they're limiting themselves. They don't have to agree with me. It doesn't matter. This is the way I see things. There's many people doing this. Just because I'm not doing it is irrelevant. I'm doing it part-time, and it's growing all the time, my time that I don't eat and drink. I got emotional issues just like all of you. I ain't no different. I got issues that I got to resolve physically, just like all of you. I'm no different. I did a lot of damage to myself. But the funny thing is that I reached a very, very balanced level of health in the years before I destroyed myself. When I was doing the raw food, which mainly was fruit and seaweeds and a lot of sprouts, I reached a very good level of health. But being stubborn, I had to push myself to try and expand more. And what that taught me was a very good lesson. And this is why I'm able to help people resolve health issues very simply, because I see things in different ways. And I'm no different than any one of you. I've explained that the answers always lay in plain sight. And the key to finding your answers is asking intelligent questions. That's the key. So I'm just trying to convey my experiences to allow your minds to expand. I may be wrong. It may be all bullshit. All the testimonials that the miracles that we're seeing could be all lies and illusion. You know, we can be in a dream right now. You don't have to believe anything I'm telling you. You have to go through the experiences yourselves and find out if they resonate with you. The page has grown pretty dramatically in 1 year, just over 1 year. If you're looking at just that, like numbers don't mean anything, but at the same time, it gives you an idea of what's happening. If you look at the time frame, just over a year, and you're looking at, and you read the testimonials, and it's not all of them. That's the only ones I had saved, which I was able to find. There's a lot of them we've missed. And then there's a lot of in between small ones that I just don't have the time to collect them all. I'm reading miracles almost every day now. It's astounding of what people are going through. People are writing things down, and sometimes I notice they haven't even noticed the little miracle that they've experienced, which is why I'm trying to convey to open up your minds and look for the answers in different ways that we've been taught and programmed. Our RNA is our software system. Our DNA is our hardware system. We carry through our RNA all our ancestors' emotions and karma as well. So that's going to have all influence on us. You know, I believe we chose our experience here on this plane and physicality for purpose, for us to experience certain things and learn certain things. I can't see beyond, like there's some people who claim to, and so on and so forth, and the ones who do, some of them are very accurate, because I know a few of them, very accurate. And, you know, I get messages in different ways, especially when I'm fasting. Information, whatever you want to call it. This is how Master Fast was put together. We do have an army of angels backing us up. Whether you believe it or not, it's irrelevant, because they exist and they're there. And the support is full on Master Fast System. Yes, we have a name for it. Am I stuck with the name? No. Didn't even have a name when I started sharing. The name came out after, so we can associate to what it is, and people can relate to it, just like any other name, just like our own personal name that we use. I've talked about this before, that we've been enslaved on this planet for a long, long time. And the people that have enslaved us on this planet know a little something extra than the average person, and is why they've been able to enslave man. They understand a little bit of the principles of the universe operations a little more than we do. And if you don't think we're enslaved, pull out your wallet or your purse and pull out the paper that you use to exchange. That's one of the main things that they've enslaved us with. And the other thing is food, believe it or not. If you believe we need food, you've been duped. It's another form of enslavement. And if you're on the Master Fast for any length of time, and you're seeing the response from people, and the energy that's coming out through people, and their miraculous healing, and the body's capability of rejuvenating itself with pretty much nothing, then you understand that food is an illusion. We've smashed that belief system. people who want to hold on to that belief system that we need plants to survive, we need to eat physical foods, that's where they're at. And it's okay. They don't have to believe anything I'm telling them. Like I said, my words could be all bullshit, doesn't matter. But one of the key things here with Master Fast is that my sole purpose and pure intent is to help as many people as we possibly can take charge into their health, so they don't have to live with disease or sickness or pain and suffering. And it's happening at a large scale, more than I've ever expected. So my whole intent is for that purpose. Everything else I talk about is it has purpose. Everything I share on the board has purpose. I don't put it on the board for no reason. You know, I'm not perfect. We all have issues of stress, and we say things sometimes we shouldn't. But the intent is always clear and precise to help people. That's what it's for. It's what I'm doing now. I don't work. I haven't worked in many years, and I don't work any day in my life. And I'll never work another day in my life. Well, the efforts I'm doing now is like 2 full-time jobs. The hours I put in every day, helping people. And what keeps me going is the miracles of everybody that's experiencing the system that are actually doing it. The miracles. I love reading and the testimonials and the people that PM me would thank me all the time. That's what keeps me going. I don't need to be doing this. I didn't have to share this. But for some reason in history, when we look at all the people who've done things to change belief systems of man, they were ridiculed and slaughtered, some of them, and so on and so forth, burned to the stake or whatever. And it happened over and over and over again. So, if that needs to happen, that needs to happen. It's no big deal. But the information is out there now. If it just stopped today, there's a lot of people that have experienced the Master Fast and could share and carry on the information that I've shared, because it's touched them, it's changed their lives to such a great extent. And there's so many on the page now, and we have a few in the admins. So it's like I said, if it all gets shut down tomorrow, it'll carry on. It cannot be stopped anymore. The information is out there. It's the 100th Mungate syndrome has been activated in the RNA of humanity with the Master Fast system. The Master Fast system is not about drinking juice, folks. I've explained this before. And maybe one day you'll understand what I'm talking about with plasma. Yeah, we're using another name. Plasma love. Keep that plasma love flowing. That's what's allowing people to heal. Believe it or not. The physical things that we're using, the matter things that we're using, have a purpose. For a certain time, there will be people that through Master Fast become breatharian. How many? Well, it doesn't matter how many, but there will be people, because it's a very efficient system if you want to go that route. I'm not even ready for that. I'm doing it part-time, but for full-time, emotionally, I'm not there yet. But I do a lot of dry fasting, more than most people. It's 9 days a month is absolute minimum that I'm dry fasting. It's almost a third of a month. So when people are saying that you need to have food, physical food, they're just limiting themselves to the programming from the masses, our parents, schooling, so on and so forth. What's that?
Somebody has their hand raised.
Somebody wants to talk?
Is it Rob? Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, let me just lower it a bit. 1 sec. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was wondering if you could explain to us a little bit about the science of Trafa or breatharianism, how that would work, how we would live on that, how that would, the sciences of it, you know?
The breatharianism term has been around for a long time. Jasmine, I think if I pronounce her, Jasmine from Australia has been teaching it for a long time, and there's many yogic gurus that have been talking about it. Autobiography of a Yogi, it was in there. It's been around a long time. Since the beginning of time, people have been doing this. So we'll use that term, breatharianism. It's not a actual correct term, you know, living off air, oxygen or whatever they want to call it. We're living off of plasmatic energy. It's called, which is actually in our air. Nitrogen is the main contributor of how we get our energy, and it's a plasmatic state. It's an interaction between the gravitational field of the sun and the earth that creates the atmosphere around it.
Continue.
Sorry?
You can continue. Sorry, I should have muted my mic.
Yeah, go ahead. Mute the mic and so we don't hear. Yeah, the sun's gravitational magnetic field strength interacting with the earth creates our atmosphere, as I was saying. And in the atmosphere, nitrogen is about 70%. And that's the main contributor of how we get most of our energy, whether we're eating or not, because we're not eating 24 hours a day. And as most of you know, when you eat, your energy level goes down because of digestion, the process that is known as digestion, which is not digestion. And so when we take in the nitrogen, the structure plasmatically has an interaction within our lungs. There's also oxygen, which is about 18% or so. There's also carbon, a small amount. There's helium, I believe, and hydrogen in our air. I don't know all exactly, but in the proportions of all these in sizes, they vary. So the oxygen molecule, if I remember correctly, is much bigger than the nitrogen molecule. And the way we've been taught is when we're breathing in air, we're getting in oxygen into our lungs, and it's going through our lungs structure into our bloodstream. It's false. It can't happen. Our body is a vacuum system, and there's nothing that penetrates physically within our bodies through our lungs or through our digestive system. It's all plasmatic field interaction. Just like the sun is interacting with the earth, creating a gravitational magnetic field in the atmosphere, and all the gases that we breathe in is the same thing that happens in our bodies, because our body's operation is a direct reflection of how the universe operates. There's no difference. Whatever's within is without, and vice versa. So when we take in these, we get the plasmatic fields, and that's how matter is created. It's converted. So we take in through our bloodstream, and actually through our lymph, which is our energy system, as I've explained. It's not our sewer system. It's opposite of what we've been taught. And it's 4 times bigger for that reason. Blood system is flowing continuously because it's a sewer system. If a sewer system gets stagnant like a septic tank or still water, it goes dead and it starts to reek badly. So this sewer system has to continuously be moving, and it has oxygen in it to keep itself clean. And that's why we find all the pathogens and everything in the bloodstream. If you want to make clean blood, and you're looking at it through microscopy, You can do it. Get on a high-fat diet. I had perfect-looking blood, and I felt the worst I've ever had in my life. And it just boggled my mind because we were always focusing on the blood. But, you know, it was all lies that we've been taught. I had perfect-looking blood, perfect-looking dry blood in microscopy analysis. And my friend who was doing that, he passed away. He dropped dead through this high-fat diet we were experimenting with. So, you know, this is where we're getting our energy, folks. More than 80% of all our energy comes from the air. Plasmatic interaction, not from food, not from physical food.
He wants to ask a question.
So, whether we believe it or not, we're already doing it. Go ahead, ask your question.
So you said we mostly breathe in the oxygen and nitrogen and such, right? So is that the
part of what's in the air, but nitrogen is the majority of what's in the air.
right? So then is that the medium?
Their size is I don't remember exactly, but there's the file called Kesh Living on Light. I transcribed it through one of his interviews, and he talks exactly the process of plasmatically on how they interact through ultraviolet light within our lungs to exchange and convert it to matter state. I don't remember the exact process.
The file section.
Yeah, it's in the file section in the on Facebook. It's called Kesh Living on Light file, and you can reference that. It's not a long read, 15 minutes max. You can read exactly in detail of what I'm trying to explain here. I'm gonna have to reread it myself because I just have so many things in my head. I just don't. I'm not one to remember details well. I'm so busy helping so many people, like and the plasma science is so vast that it's almost an impossibility, which is nothing's impossible, but it's to be able to focus on all the different areas of plasma technology, because you're talking about health, you're talking about feeding, you're talking about motion, you're talking about power, you're talking about agriculture, you're talking about nanotechnologies. It goes on and on and on. Like, so everybody will pick their favorite things of what they're attracted to and work on that. So, you know, everything is done plasmatic. So when we're eating food, physical foods, plants that are growing are in a plasmatic state. Animals are in a plasmatic state. Rocks are in a plasmatic state. The Earth, the planets, the stars, everything in the universe is in a plasmatic state. The lowest strength is why we see matter forming. The low strength of plasmas are matter state. As we move in higher strengths, we come out of the matter state. Our etheric body, where we see our auric field, is in a plasmatic state. If most of you maybe understand that. That's a plasma state that we can't see physically with our eyes, but there are some people who can see auras. So, you know, these are the states of different, I don't call them level because the level is all the same. It's strengths. It's strength. The stronger the field strength, the more it's expanded and the more you can use it to create and manifest whatever your desires as you move up in the field strengths. So the physical field strengths that we're experiencing are the lowest forms of plasma, and that's why it matter. If you take, if you've heard about stories of people being able to see the dead and so on and so forth, you know, they're walking through matter walls and so on and so forth, and tables and chairs, because it's a stronger field strength. If you're looking at through chemistry and science and matter state, when they look at it in a microscope, basically the further you go, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. It's just molecules held together, and the field strength in the plasma sense is where everything is happening. The matter state is limited, very limited. When we're looking at chemistry and science like that, you're looking at a small window you're ignoring what's really happening, because everything that's beyond matter is how matter is created. And that's the issue. That's what we have not been taught. And this is where we need to focus, I feel, more of our energy instead of the matter, which is limited and has its purpose, because that's why we're here, but it's very limited. So when you're looking at, for example, the mainstream medical science that they're using with this treatment-based thinking, it's all based on the matter state. And they put this and this together and see what the reaction is. But the problem is everybody has emotions and a different chemistry of the body, and everything reacts different in every single person. There's no two of us the same. We all have uniqueness. No two stars the same in the whole universe. No two snowflakes the same. No two fingerprints the same. So, you know, we need to expand ourselves if we want to learn more and look beyond what we can actually see with our eyes. We can train ourselves. We can to remember, because we've all been there. We've all been in a pure energy form at some point. Our soul is pure plasma essence, has no matter. It's pure energy. Pure energy. And I have a cousin of mine who's very clairvoyant. He remembers being born, coming through. And he talks about how he just was a form of energy that he could be at any place instantaneously. And he remembers being born. And he tried to commit suicide when he was a very young teenager. He took a bunch of drugs to kill himself, a huge amount. And the message was, it's not your time, you have purpose. And he didn't die. And when he talks to people, strangers, of what he sees, people get blown away because he can see beyond the matter state. So, you know, there's lots of these people around. And he's also a very powerful healer. He helps people with therapeutic touch and so on and so forth. You know, he wasn't trained to do this. He just does it. We can all do it. This is what plasma is about, folks. This is why master fast people are able to get massive amounts of benefits that they couldn't find anywhere else. You know, all I see is, as the weeks and months go by, is we're building this to get stronger and stronger. So as more people come in and new people come in, they will be able to benefit much more so and quicker. And you'll see that happening. You'll see that evolving over time. You know, yeah, we're drinking juice. We're drinking the lemon. And I've been ridiculed just on the cooked juice, as most of you know if you've been around long enough. A lot. We're using charcoal, which is cooked to death. And people still don't understand that the charcoal has the properties of the charcoal plasmatically are not measurable in matter state. And that's why it's part of the system. It doesn't absorb physically, as we're told. It's working on a plasmatic field. And farmers have been doing using charcoal for a long time. Burning their fields in the fall to re-energize the earth. It's not fertilizer. It's giving energy to the earth. That's why everybody else looks at it as a physicality thing, fertilizer for the plant to feed on. That's not how charcoal works. And I think I mentioned last call about the farmer in Africa, I believe it was, the tomato farmer. He was trying for years to figure out how to extend the life of his tomatoes, because the harvest time, everybody had tomatoes and they couldn't sell them all. So he was losing a lot. He tried everything from digging the dirt and this and that and all kinds of things. Eventually, what worked was burying them in wood ash. And he was able to extend the life by, I think it was 4 months or more. How's that, folks? Plasma in action. This is what I'm talking about. If you understand just a little bit. We don't need to fully understand it because we're all learning and we're all playing with it. But the more we play with it, the more we learn, the more we understand. And this is how I really appreciate people sharing everything that they experience on Masterfast. The good, the bad, the ugly. We want it all. The only way we're going to learn. We don't need to hide. If you look, I don't care what the posts are pretty much. That I don't pretty much ever remove posts. If any of the admins feel the questions have been answered, we shut off commenting to move it down, because otherwise it just goes up for no reason. If we feel the answers have been answered, there's no reason to keep the post going. But to erase posts, I've probably can count them on one hand, and some of them were spam, where I had to delete. But there's no reason, because we're not going to learn if we are not able to discuss like mature adults and to learn, to be able to learn from each other. People get carried away by the way I talk and stuff. It's just, they get very defensive and so on and so forth. Like another one today saying basically, why don't I answer the questions and so on and so forth. I just, because I comment all the time, please go read the pinned posts. All the files named Masterfast, the Kesh Living on Light file, the water file, and watch all the videos. People believe that their time is more important than my time, so I should personally answer their questions, which have already been answered, and all the information I gave away freely. And when I have to answer their questions, I have to still type that out in their post, and they have to read it anyway. How ridiculous is that? That's called theft. And I refuse to give up my time for that. When somebody is a doer, they follow the instructions, they read the post, they educate themselves, they're empowering themselves from the free information I give away. I bend over backwards to support them because they have questions, and I understand that when their questions have some intelligence because they've read, you can see it in the questions. When somebody comes and says, "What is Masterfast? Can you please explain it to me?" and they expect an answer, that's stealing my time and the other admin's time, where we can be using our time to help somebody that actually needs help, who's maybe in a serious healing reaction or so on and so forth. So I respect everybody equally, and I wish everybody respects me. I'm no different. I don't want more respect. I want equal respect as everybody else. I have no issue giving away all my information freely, or I wouldn't have done it. Just respect and give yourself respect. Educate yourselves. That's all I ask. Educate yourselves. Because if I die tomorrow, or you need to educate yourself. The information will still be there, and you can educate yourself. And then you can't rely on things being gift wrapped. If a lot of children, the way they're being brought up these days, the parents just give them anything they want. They don't want to hear them because they don't actually bring their children up. They both parents are working. They put them in daycare. This is a big percentage, and somebody else brings their children up. So they come home, they don't even know their children. And the children, freaks out, whatever, and the parents just think they're going to solve with physical matter things, buying this, and that. This is where our society's turning to crap. People are lost in all these different illusions of having to do this, and that, and the other thing. I don't know. I don't have all the answers, but together, we can accomplish quite a bit. As you've seen, we've accomplished quite a bit already. Sharing and embracing and sharing the plasma love, keeping it flowing. Keep that stagnation moving. We don't want any stagnation. We want to keep things flowing so we can learn from each other. This is what it's all about. So I have no issues with vegans. Cheers to all the vegans. I praise and love what you guys are doing, but open your minds and start looking at things beyond the matter state. It's ridiculous that humans are killing animals to eat. Come on. We're in the year 2017 and it's still going on. It's think about that. It's ridiculous how animals are being treated to be consumed for food. It's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. I totally agree. Is there anything wrong with people eating meat? If we look at back, whatever, 100 years or so or more, let's look at the Aboriginal Indians of North America, or any other Aboriginal Indians. They all lived in harmony with nature. They never took not a speck more than they needed. They consumed animal products, but they only used exactly what they needed. No more. There was no waste. They respected and lived in harmony with nature. This is where we need to go. Now, people are eating flesh, meat. They're eating it every day, 2-3 times a day. Some people, and this is the issue. This is why we're all sick. And on top of it, all the chemicals and all the horrific emotions of factory farmed animals have to go through, and factory farmed plants. They're both on the same level, folks. I don't put one higher than the other. It's all part of our own creation. This is what I want you guys to understand and realize. That's what the post is about. We're all one creation. A plant has every right that you do and I do. Why do you believe you are superior to the plant kingdom, when the plant kingdom is much more elevated than the human species, and they're here to help us because of our bullcrap? We have not lived in accordance to nature's laws, and our bodies are so plugged up with foreign things that don't exist in nature. They're all chemicals, extracts that have been manipulated by man. And we can't solve these issues anymore with nature. And if you guys haven't noticed, there's a rampant of people trying to resolve their issues with nature, and they're reaching plateaus. Cheers to everybody there. And the reason is just that. We can't solve unnatural man's issues with nature. I've talked about this before. So we're cooking our juice, folks. And we're using charcoal. We're using the herbs. We're using the beautiful, beloved, elevated friends, our herbs. And why I don't condone using herbs when we're eating, because we're not getting the biggest bang for our buck for them. If we're dealing with children, we have to be careful for certain reasons that most of you understand. We need to keep feeding them. They'll do amazingly well on the hybrid. Lots of people have done that already. Using the master fast with 1 meal a day. They'll do amazing without the meal, but we need to feed the children. Um, there's the issue of the herbs with our food. Use them sporadically. Don't go crazy on the herbs. When you're fasting and you're using herbs is when they do their real magic. And that's why they're an essential part of Master Fast. And when we're on it, I highly recommend you load up on herbs. If you believe you can't afford them, wait till you get sick and you're bedridden, and then you'll see what you can't afford. Then come talk to me. Being sick is way more expensive. Been there, done that. Can't work, can't create any income, can't do anything. And you got to pay your bills. You got to, in some places, you got to pay your doctor's bills. People are losing houses all the time in the U.S. over illness. It's sickening that this is happening, but it's happening. So when you're fasting, load up on herbs. Load up. Get a loan. It's an investment in your health. You don't have, or just make them yourself, which if you pick them, when they're in season, you can freeze them or dry them. I like freezing them better. It maintains their energy better. And you can make your own tinctures. Or you can buy the herbs and make your own tinctures. You'll save some money there, depending which country. It's not when you're buying 50 or 60 herbs. You're gonna have to put out money. You're gonna be able to make a lot of tinctures, but you're gonna be putting out probably more money than buying herbs from somebody. So there's many choices here. Nobody has to buy anything from me, and that's not what it's about. It's about you and being able to get the most effectiveness and safety of doing your Master Fast to help you in your health situation, to allow your body to heal the best way it could with all this possible support we can do. I hear so many people, going off and doing these the juice fasts with the cooked juice. They're asking for trouble. They're asking for trouble. I've warned the people so many times. It's too powerful. We're not talking about raw juice here. Raw juice has no power. A lot of you know that. You've come from that. I've done raw juice fast zillion times, and I've even done raw grape juice fasts for 30, 40 days. And I've done, and there's no comparison when you're doing the cooked juice. Just no comparison. As people are finding out, even though we still get people ridiculing it here and there, believing that the raw juice is the way to go for cleaning your body. The furthest thing from the truth is what we found. Like I said, I came from Ra's Law as well. Raw vegan, did that, been there. Nothing wrong with it, but we have a much more fantastic system to help people clean their bodies and get the results they're desiring. Like I said before about the raw juices, if your GI tract is full of garbage, I don't recommend people doing raw juices. You're just stirring big fermentation in there. A lot of people that come off the sad diets, they get into the fruit, they just blow up like balloons. It just ferments everything when you put raw juices in there. Just eat your fruit, folks. Once you've done a long Master Fast, clean out the GI tract thoroughly. 40 days is okay, but 60 and up, will you do a better job? 100 days, 108 days, you're going to do a very good job. Won't do it completely, but once you've done that, I'll get to your question. Once you've done that, to have an occasional raw juice, to have an occasional smoothie, it's fine. But to do that coming off a sad diet, you're gonna have big problems, bloating and so on and so forth. Go ahead, ask your question. Unmute.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, so in a financially cost-effective manner, what would be the best way to clean out the GI tract?
Well, the minimum 4 we suggest is a kidney tincture, gland tincture, lymphatic tincture, and the GI broom tincture. That's the absolute minimum, along with the kidney tea and the psyllium pudding mix that we have. That's your absolute minimum. Now, when I see somebody who's in a serious condition and they only want to go with that, if that's all they really can afford, they believe that's all they really can afford, it's sad. It's really sad. Because somebody in a serious condition needs a lot more support. Like for me, Divine 9 should be the minimum for people to go on. And it covers a wide array of areas in their body. The 12 that I introduced covers pretty much everything. Only very, very serious cases I put more than 12. It's happened a few times, not many. But, you know, I'm talking about people that are pretty much on their deathbed, very severe cases. And we've helped turn around. So, you know, if that's all you can afford, that's all you can afford. But like I said, you can buy the herbs and make your own tinctures. You know, there's very easy ways of doing it. You know, you can do the freezer method, 9 days, 18 days in the freezer, shake it daily, put them through your juicer so you strain everything out. Or you do it in the sun for minimum 30 days and then, you know, throw it through your juicer so you get it all out. These are other ways. But when somebody's in a serious situation, they don't have much time sometimes, and they need to get on the program very quickly. So you have to figure out why you believe you can't afford to invest in your health. You know, people are eating every day. They're spending money every day. And so many people thank me because they've saved so much money on doing their master fast for 60 days, whatever, 100 days. They've saved so much money, and they're loaded up on herbs. So when people start saying that they can't afford it, I just don't understand. I just don't. It's such a sad state that people can't afford that state. They put themselves in that situation. So hopefully in the future, you know, if people keep supporting the Master Fast system, there will be help for these people on financial basis that really need it. But in the time being, we all need to survive and live. The support is not great, but we keep doing what we can and keep supporting people through my efforts versus financially. And that's all we can do at the time. But do the best you can, folks. You got to do the best you can in the situation you're in. That's all we can do. You can ask for help for other people if you're really financially tight. But if you're working full time and you're eating, you should be able to afford a Master Fast system, because the only problem is for people is putting out the initial money. And then by day to day, it is cheaper. Go ahead, ask your question.
So if a person cannot afford things, what would be a protocol so that they can follow to actually begin the process and maintain a steady detoxification?
To do a real cheap way, you can start on a hybrid. Get yourself kidney tea, psyllium, and do the hybrid. Basically, in my opinion, it's going to cost you more because food's so expensive. So you're doing the juice all day. You're doing your psyllium once a day. You're doing your kidney tea twice a day, and you're eating one meal at the end of the day, which is mainly fruit. In my opinion, it'll be more expensive.
No herbs.
A real cheap way. Because you're eating, you're not getting the depth of the cleanse like when you're not eating. There is a difference. There is a difference. People are still getting results on the hybrid. We have a lot of children that have been doing it, some elder people, and some people that have chosen to go that route because they don't believe they can fast, and they're getting good results. Will you solve a deep-rooted, inherited genetic issues? Probably not. probably not. But we've already seen people starting to correct genetic issues, lacunas closing up in the eyes. We've seen it already on Massive Fast. And we're only about 2 years old, approximately, since I started sharing online. So this is the magic of what can happen when you tap into something that really works. I don't really suggest going without herbs. I've said it a million times. If you're going to go on a strict fast with the juice, I don't suggest you do without the minimum 4 at least, and the tea and the psyllium. So this is for somebody who believes they can't afford it, who's eating every day. They're spending money eating. So I can't comprehend it. I'm not at that level. The universe is abundant, infinite abundant. Realize that, tap into it, change your state. This is why a lot of people are sick. A lot of people that are sick have no money. You have to correlate with that. I was there. I'm not talking that I'm making things up. I was in bed for years, had no income. Things were grave. Scraping by. I've been there. Folks. I know what it is. It's a state of mind. You have to get out of it. The poor me syndrome does not work. You're not going to heal yourself. You have to empower yourself. You have to come out of that. Write down your goals. I keep saying it over and over. Power of the pen. Understand what it is.
So save money for a few months until you're able to afford it.
Yeah.
But you really don't make excuses. Just do it. The minimum 4 herbs.
You can buy them from somebody else, spend more money, and get less quality. That's the reality of the fact. I purposely focused on having the best tinctures possible, whether you believe it or not. Ask people who have taken the herbs we handle. It's no joke. They are the best herbs in the world. The only way you're going to make them better, to have them better, is if you make them yourself. I've said that before. And some people still, making them themselves, they won't come to the quality that we make, because my friend's been doing this a long time, and he's experimented a lot in making tinctures. Our tinctures do not have a shelf life. That's how good they are. You can keep them infinite in a dark cupboard. How's that? There's some magic happening in them, the way they're made. So, and they're the best prices, which most people are not buying our herbs. They're buying other ones that are more diluted. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, the other thing is, like, if you do 40 days or less, I wouldn't be saving so much money. But if I do 40 days or more, usually if I do more than 40, I'm saving money big time. I live in Toronto, and I would say like the average person here, and this is the reality. I spend way more money when I'm here.
I'm gonna make a video of a supermarket and food prices in Toronto. We live in one of the most expensive cities in the world.
Especially if you're eating raw foods. Foods are expensive.
In Toronto, in Ontario now, which is our province, we have the highest electrical rates in North America. The highest. We have the highest mobile phone rates in the world. We have the highest internet rates in the world. We have extraordinary out of this world taxes. It's insane to live in Toronto now. If you're making 50 grand a year, you're living in poverty pretty much.
Yeah, it's where at the end of the day, honestly, you're saving.
I wanted to ask you about, like, what is the best market in Toronto to get the fruits, like in downtown, or like what is the best market to get the fruits and vegetables, cheap and good? Like, what do you think?
I use the Asian markets. We have a lot of them in Toronto.
Yeah.
Kensington Market or
So is it like
Spadina?
Yeah.
Is it
Well, I don't go downtown. Actually, downtown here, it's more expensive to where I am in Woodbridge, which is north of Toronto. It's more expensive down here. You may find some deals in Spadina area.
TNT or something?
TNT or
TNT is a bit expensive down here. There's one at the Promenade. I haven't been there in years.
so in Woodbridge, like which one in Woodbridge you would go? We can go.
The one I go to is East Meets. What's it called? I don't remember what it's called. I go there all the time. Yeah, I don't even remember. It's East meets West. Nations. It's called Nations.
Nation?
There's a few of them around, not many. They're very clean and they got a good range. They got everything.
Oh, cool.
All right, cool. We'll check it out.
Like you got Longos. Longos has fresh everything, very very strict and really fresh, but they're expensive.
Nice.
You got Fortinos. They're expensive. Sometimes you find deals there. But Nations is the one I use the most. It's right across the street from me. They have fresh durian sometimes. It's
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so you know,
That's awesome.
but you know, we do the best we can in the situations we're in. The whole thing about MasterFast is clean out your bodies. You don't need to eat a lot anymore. You're going to save a ton of money in the long run. You're going to be fasting as your experience. You're going to be fasting at least 1 day a week. And as time goes on, a year, 2 years, you know, you should be at two days a week easily, plus a 3 day at the end of the month. And then at the season change, you should be doing at least 5 days. So you're spending nothing when you're dry fasting. Nothing. Zero. Unless you do a little bit of tinctures, which is going to cost you pennies because we're only doing half a dose just to get the essence of the herb.
And when you eat, you want to eat less. So this is very important. We start eating less than we used to eat, especially when we eat raw foods. You know, it's known to, you know, we have to eat a lot to fill our body and blah, 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 you know. You really don't need to eat much to survive. We know that. And especially, you know, when you start fasting for long, you will understand that.
Oh, we have a few people today. 27, divine 9.
We're on day 30 right now, but we're like planning like our fermentation. Like we want to ferment foods. So it's fun.
It's fine to do a little bit of ferments. Like I was mentioning, be easy on them. Don't go crazy on them. Use them occasionally. We really don't need that stuff, but I like them. I do them occasionally too. If
You don't think it helps with digesting the raw foods better? Like
not when you fix your digestion. No, you won't need them.
Okay, yeah. Well,
the issue is pancreatic issues, liver issues, congested stomach. These are the issues of digestion. It's a myth that we need help to digest food. The only reason we need help is because our organs and glands are filthy. They're not functioning properly. The field interactions are not clear, so they're interference, and we don't get proper utilization of all the fields. That's the problem. Once you clean everything out, 108 days may not be enough for some people, folks. But ask most of the people on that did 108 days. Everybody talks about maybe some people take a while before digestion kicks in, but their digestion's stronger, their elimination's way stronger as long as they stay on a clean diet, mainly fruit. You know, some people are saying, "Holy muck! I've never went on so many bowel movements in the day after they've broken their 108 days." So this is what happens. Everything gets stronger. All these things that we've been taught that we need to add esophagus, and et cetera, et cetera. It's all illusions. Nutrition is all illusions. We've broken through all these myths. You can keep continuing to believe them. I have nothing against you. To me, they're all bullcrap illusions that we've been programmed to believe in. Just like we need to eat food. It's a program. I still need to change my program to come to the point where I don't need food emotionally, because it's all emotion. Go ahead, ask your question.
Excuse me. Okay. So, would you recommend incorporating enzymes and probiotics after you have done the master fast?
Absolutely not. If you think about enzymes, what do? They digest, and they can digest meat. What are you made of? Meat. One of my friend's friend, a very good friend of mine, his friend, I didn't know this other person. He went on the craze when the enzymes came out many years ago. was taking so many, his blood started coagulating and he died through over enzyme use. You don't want to be doing enzymes. Probiotics. Why do you got to buy it in a bottle when, if you think you need them, make yourself some sauerkraut or buy some sauerkraut or some kimchi, a good quality one that hasn't been salted and used chemicals. They're easy to make. Costs you nothing to buy cabbage and make some kimchi or cabbage or sauerkraut. Those have way more probiotics if you think you need that, way more than any pill will give you.
So what would be the purpose of making or consuming fermented foods?
Taste, if you'll enjoy them. I enjoy them. I used to make wonderful nut and seed cheeses. I would make my sauerkraut, and I would soak, for example, almonds or pumpkin seeds. Those were two of my favorites, and equal amounts. And then I would blend that up, and then I would leave it on the counter overnight, and it would be amazingly addictive. You have to be careful; they're so addictive. It's much easier to digest nuts and seeds because they're the dense, heavy matter. We don't want to be doing too much of those things. They will plug you up, the fats and the proteins. But when you do them that way, they're easier to digest because we're pre-digesting them through the bacteria. They taste amazing. If you want to use them occasionally, that's okay. But honestly, folks, if we really clean our bodies properly, fruit will be the only thing that you will ever really need. But you really need to clean your body very well. Will it happen in 1 or 2 years? No, not for most of us. Will it happen 3 or 4 years? No, not for most of us. Not when we've been living a life of polluting our bodies for many years. When I became raw foodist, using the title vegan, in 2000, it took me about 4 years before everything, even actually a little bit long, 4 or 5 years before everything really started stabilizing and I started getting massive benefits from it. So, I was doing a little bit of all this thing, but my main thing was always the fruit. Always. It was an intuitive thing. And a lot of sprouts. I would grow a lot of sprouts instead of buying my greens when I started sprouting. Because never mind the money savings, the quality I could not buy. It was night and day comparison. I posted 2 of my old videos of how I used to grow sprouts. And I would grow them with ocean water, and they'd be the best food that you can possibly get. I wish all our food was grown like that, with ocean water or through plasma energy. That's where it needs to go, if we want to be consuming. Because when you're consuming those kind of foods, you're not going to be able to eat as much as you can by store-bought inferior foods. You just won't be able to eat as much. It's more satisfying. So these are all things that on an individual basis, we all need to find, we call our balance. Most of us will not be able to live on fruitarian lifestyle. I haven't been able to do it, completely fruit. I wasn't able to do it. I'm still not able to do it. But most of my staple, I have to have fruit. If I don't have fruit in a day, and let's say I just have some greens, it slows me down. My elimination, it slows me down. Fruit, fastest food. Grab it, least karmic. Least karmic of all the physical foods for men. I've talked about this. The tree gives it to us freely. The bush, the berries, gives it to us freely. Drops it, we eat it, the seed carries on the species, the seed is the soul. So we don't interfere with the soul essence of that plant. If the seeds are small, we ingest. Seeds don't digest unless you crush them, and they go through us and we pass them on. Or if the seeds are big like a peach, we toss them to carry on the species. This is the concept of what I'm trying to get people to see beyond matter state. We're talking about the soul state here. To allow the soul expression to carry on. That's the important, and that's the essence of plasma. Not about veganism. No such thing as veganism in nature or in the universe. It doesn't exist. If you want to live with that title, I applaud you for what you stand for the animals. But I'm on both sides. I'm for the animals, and I'm for the plants, and I'm for the planets, and I'm for the rocks, and I'm for the insects. I'm for all these species. Do I still consume them? Of course I do. I haven't been able to get my emotions to reach a level where I don't need food at all anymore. I've only been able to do it part-time, and I do it quite a bit. So, I'd love to hear any of your thoughts on all this stuff of what I've shared, because this is how we all expand and learn.
Yeah, hi. I just had a question about athletic performance and holding on to your muscle. All the times that I've done kind of high fruit diets and things, I've found it's really I've found it's been bad for my hormones, and I found I've lost a lot of muscle mass as well. I wondered if you could just talk about that a little bit.
You said athletic performance. Is that what you said, Harry?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. How long have you been on a clean diet, and how long have you been on other diets?
That's a hard question, because I've I've tried different things over the years. I mean, I'm just coming off like a very high fat, raw kind of thing, which hasn't been working for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your age, and were you basically brought up on a sad diet like most of us?
A kind of European meat and vegetables, and but not processed like burgers and stuff like that, really.
European. Okay. Well, I'm Italian background, so European. That's what we grew up on. They don't a bit of everything, but we ate everything. What's your age approximately?
I'm 30.
Okay, you're still very young. The key, Harry, to allow the body to utilize a fruit diet is removing the obstructions. This is key, very, very, very key, that most people are missing. We have a lot of people that have long-term, mostly fruitarians, that have not been able to resolve issues, and they get on the master fast and they're eliminating plaque like they can't believe, because you can't remove these obstructions through diet, even a fruit diet. And you can talk to people on the board that have been through the 108 days. There's a few of them who were on mainly fruit diets. So if you're trying to live off a fruit diet coming from previous different diets, it ain't gonna work for you totally, because you have these obstructions blocking field interactions to allow proper utilization from the fruit. And most of us are not going to be fruitarian. We're going to have greens in our diet as well. So we need to first focus on cleaning the terrain. And to clean the terrain is not an overnight thing, and it's not going to happen with 108-day fast. I always put an emphasis on a 7 to 9 year journey, because what I mean is it needs to be a life style for you. You need to make a commitment for life to make these changes. I've done the 9 years. It works. And then I destroyed myself very badly on the diet that you just said does not work. High fat, raw vegan. I hurt myself a lot through that diet. So to focus on allowing your body to be able to function and utilize a fruit diet, it needs to be cleaned at a very deep cellular level. And once that happens, you will see that not only will you not be able to eat as much as you used to, you'll be going to have more energy than you used to. You're going to be clearer in mind than you used to. You're going to have muscle mass, not necessarily, but muscle efficiency, stronger, more endurance, for sure. The formula that Arnold Ehret talks about in Mucus's diet, who was one of my great gurus, if you want to put it, teacher, the Mucus's diet healing system, Arnold Ehret, he talked about V equals P take away O. vitality equals power, takeaway, obstruction. When you have a body full of obstruction, the body uses the vitality to try and the body uses the power to try and remove the obstruction, and the vitality goes down. When you remove all these obstructions, the body doesn't have to use that power to remove any obstructions, so the vitality goes way up. It's a simple formula, but hits the truth right in the center. And he helped thousands of people in his clinic way back in the early 1900s, I believe it was. So these are things, whether we believe in them or not, they actually work. And this is why we have a great success in people allowing their bodies to heal on MasterFast, because we focus on cleaning a lot of obstructions, which the majority of them is within our GI tract, from our mouth to our anus. But it's not only there, it's throughout our whole system and every single cell. And once you clean the GI tract thoroughly, it starts pulling from every single area. And that's why people are boggled. 100 days, they're still eliminating. It reeks like they've never smelled, like the deepest pits of hell, because this is being pulled from within all our cells of stagnation that's been there for many, many years. So as we're pulling that out, all joint pains go away, nails get stronger, hair gets better, eyes start clearing up, glowing, everything starts improving, and with nothing pretty much, because the physical things are an illusion. Whether you believe it or not, it's an illusion. The physical foods are only to settle emotions because of our programming. That's the only thing I see. Nutrition, this, that, and the other thing is all an illusion, in my opinion. It's an illusion. It's ridiculous, because if it was true, you wouldn't be able to heal through fasting, because we're not doing hardly any nutrition, according to mainstream science. There's hardly nothing in there. Juice, some herbs. What nutrition is there? We're not using.
On the subject of fasting, would you mind just speaking? I've just done a 14-day water fast a month or so ago. I was wondering if you'd speak a little bit about your experience with water fasting.
Did you do bedridden, or were you moving?
No, I was moving, followed by 7 days of juices and kind of refeeding.
Did you do it on your own or at a clinic?
I did it at a clinic.
And what's your experience, briefly?
I didn't feel like it actually moved that much stuff. I'm aware that I've got kind of mucus in my lungs, and I didn't really feel like it made very much difference. And then the refeeding they're very focused on like ketogenic, super high fat. And then because I was in a really sensitive state, then putting all the fat in, suddenly it was like, so it didn't really, I could see the benefits of water fasting just as a concept, and it definitely reset my body in some ways. But, there were certain things that I was just like, it didn't really seem to do much on that. 14 days is a reasonably long time,
Yeah.
Obviously people have done longer.
Excellent. Thanks for sharing. Water fasting myself, the most I did, I think, was 9 or 10 days. I never, ever resonated with water fasting. I never felt comfortable drinking water fasting for some reason. So I used mostly juices, raw juices, most of them. I did greens, I did fruit juice, I did all kinds, long ones, short ones, every season change, like clockwork. For 26 years, pretty much, I would be fasting, some sort of fasting, for 7 to 14 days. And then I did many long ones, 30, 40, 60 days before put together the Master Fast. So water fast, I did a little write up on it about water fasting, what I believe water fasting is. Water fasting is a man-made thing, just like Master Fast is a man-made thing. It doesn't exist in nature. Animals, when they get injured or they're sick or they're ill, they're not going to go searching to drink a certain amount of water each day, folks. It's not going to happen. Bears hibernate for 7.5 months. 7.5 months. Yes, they're sleeping, but it's 7.5 months. No food, no water. Animals inherently understand their connection to how to heal is through not eating. They do it automatically. The cruelty and the beauty of nature is they heal or they die. And the reason is to carry on only the strong species, so it survives. So water fasting to me is not found in nature. And man came up with this thing because he believes thinking matter state that we need matter to flush the toxins. That's how water fasting came to be, in my humble opinion. So what water fasting is doing is mimicking a dry fast. But the problem is we're stressing some of the organs, specifically the kidney glands. Kidneys don't like water. They don't like it at all. And that's why we don't drink water, and we don't advocate drinking water. And I don't advocate, and I never will advocate a water fast ever again. Because now we've expanded and we've come to the realization that dry fasting is where it's at. And master fast system is a glorified dry fast. That's all it is. Now, why we use juice is because we're so toxic that most people are not going to be able to solve their issues with a completely plugged up GI tract with a dry fast. It ain't going to happen. People have been dry fasting for years, and they're not getting the results we're getting on master fast. And I've explained to you why. It's the GI tract. It's completely plugged up in states beyond nature. We have to focus on cleaning that GI tract. Once we do that, dry fasting shines. We got paralyzed guys walking. We got people turning to stone that have straightened out. We got the worst cancer cases that are thriving. Why is this happening? Exactly what I've explained to you. It's not rocket science. Clean out the GI tract, focus on dry fasting, and let the body tap into that perfect blueprint each one of us has in the ether, and it's done through dry fasting. Direct contact to your blueprint. Don't have to do anything. It's a direct access. It happens automatically. How beautiful is that? No thought process needed. How much more simple do we want it, folks? Seriously. Master Fast makes it simple. Master Fast makes it simple. So everybody could do it. Doesn't matter how toxic. Yes, some of us have a very hard time with extreme healing reactions. We have a lot of tools, enemas, colonics, massages, acupunctures, et cetera, castor oil packs. We have a lot of tools, the herbs, so on and so forth. We have a lot of tools. We need to use these tools. A lot of these dry fasting clinics, they have blinders on, and they don't use any of the tools. They believe the body can do it on its own. That's a tough road, boy. That's a very tough road, and an extreme road to put your body through all that aggravation when we can relieve it with all the tools we have. Ask anybody who's almost feels like they're dying, they do an enema, and they're thriving the next few minutes. It's ridiculous to put the body through that. That's why I won't advocate water fasting ever again. We've expanded beyond that. So that's my little experience with water fasting and what I feel water fasting is. It's mimicking a dry fast, but they believe that water is a better cleanser, and it's not. Cooked grape juice is a way better cleanser. We proved it over and over and over. Can't even compare. Can't even compare. We have a lot of people who have done long water fasts on the board and have shared their experience. I bless you for sharing your experience. We've had 40, I can't remember his name now. He shared recently, he did a 40-day water fast and he regrets doing it. He turned completely emaciated, and he's over day 90 on master fast now. And a lot of things have happened in his 90 days, and he shared his beautiful experience with us. And he'll continue sharing because he appreciates that I love people sharing, and he's mentioned that. So I don't advocate water. It doesn't do a good job of cleaning. It's too aggressive on the kidneys. So that's my take on the water fasting.
Yeah, some people are sharing also that they did this person thoroughly 47 days minimum of water fasting to heal. And she didn't like it. And then she did 13 days dry fast, and she will never go back to water fast.
Exactly. There's no point. What dry fasting is so many more times powerful than water fasting. People say 3 times. They say 1 day of dry fast is equal to 3 days dry fasting. 3 days water fasting. 1 day dry equal to 3 day water. I don't agree with that.
And she did, my bowels did not move at all during the 13 days of dry fasting, which is why she's now doing the massive fast. Soon.
Yeah, we don't focus on bowel movements on dry fasting, folks. What I teach is clear your bowels really well before doing a long dry fast. You're going to have a much better dry fast. And then after you break your dry fast and you've hydrated well for at least a couple of hours, if it's a long dry fast, 7 days or more, you want to hydrate more hours, then you do enemas to clear up all the crap that's been burned. But the key is clearing the bowels first. But we don't worry about if we have bowel movements or not on a dry fast. Bears do not have bowel movements 7.5 months on a dry fast. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, and currently you're asking as well that kidneys need to be checked on for filtration during the dry fast.
It's a good idea to check them. You're gonna see some days you're gonna filter more than others. Some days you might get clear urine, and you're gonna boggle your mind. Why am I getting clear urine? You're pulling stagnant, dead fluid. I don't call it water because there's no water in our body. It's GAN state. Stagnant, dead fluid out of the body that the body can't use. It's got to get rid of it. And that happened to Gabrielis. And it happened to me one day. I got a little bit of clear urine. Well, what's going on? It goes into phases when you start getting to deep, long, dry fasts. And we're trying to figure it out and understand. Let your mind go. All you need is to have faith in your body's capability to tap into your blueprint, which is perfect in the ether, to completely heal anything. And if you're eating a sad diet or whatever other diet that's not clean, and you're dry fast and you think you're going to solve your issues, it ain't going to happen. Because people are doing it out there. There's other boards. It ain't happening. They're not getting miraculous healing. They're getting some benefits. They're not getting miraculous healing. You have to understand that the key player to make a dry fast efficient is cleaning the GI tract, and this is where Master Fast shines. We're using the juice, the psyllium pudding, we're using the tinctures and the tea to support and make the dry fast very efficient, because it all it is a glorified dry fast, and it's a very relaxed cascade dry fast. If you read Phil Knopf's book, the doctor who wrote the book on dry fasting, it talks about cascade dry fast. That's a very aggressive state where you do 1 day dry, 2 days juice, 2 days dry, 3 days juice, 4 days dry, 5 days juice, then 5 days dry, and then you break it. That's called a cascade dry. It's a very, very aggressive dry fast. I wouldn't recommend it for anybody unless they've been dry fasting for minimum 1 to 2 years with clean diet. It's too aggressive. If you try that on the master fast and you come off of a regular diet, not even a SAD, whatever, you're going to be probably putting yourself in a grave dangerous situation, because most people are dehydrated 20-30% minimum at a cellular level. Last time I checked myself, I was approximately 8% dehydrated. So I'm a little bit above average. And that's from all the years of fasting, raw fooding, and all that stuff. This was a couple of years ago, I measured myself. So this is what we're doing to try and help people focus and do a thorough job and clean themselves properly.
And Caroline is asking if someone is having severe healing reactions, should they scale back on the herbs?
The herbs, I wouldn't scale back on the herbs. If it's severe healing reactions, we number one, we always go to the enemas. Always, always, always. Breathwork, enemas, acupressure points. If you're not able to solve it and it's happening over a few days, we ask that maybe you could go back to green juices for a few days to cool off the acids. You can relax all the herbs, maybe just do the tea and green juices.
That's during the dry fast.
Oh, during a dry fast.
Yeah, what's the best if she's having severe healing reactions? Does she scale back on the herbs or break the fast?
Oh, on a dry fast. On a dry fast, sorry.
Maybe break the fast.
Yeah, if it's getting too severe, the number one issue on dry fast to break is if you're having problems breathing. You for whatever you can't force yourself to do breath work, you're going to break the dry fast. If your heartbeat goes crazy, over 100 beats per minute, and you can't bring it down through breath work and acupressure points, time to break your dry fast. If you're getting a very strong sensations that you're uncomfortable with, time to break your dry fast. And you do it slowly, sipping. So you're going to have to be the judge of that, because I ask people as they practice dry fasting to always push beyond their comfort zones. So when you've reached a certain state of uncomfortableness, push that little more. And if you really can't handle it after that, you break it. The next time you reach that, you come up to that same point, it'll be, you'll recognize that. And it won't be foreign to you, so you'll be able to push that a little more. Because what happens after, eventually, these strong healing reactions that you believe they're strong, sometimes if you just wait that extra 5-10 minutes, they go away and you feel amazing. This is what can happen in general in fasting. Things can go from one extreme to the other or vice versa, and especially in dry fasting, they can from 1 second to the other. So these are the few tips, and they're all on files. You can read them about them too. Go ahead to ask your other question.
What is a SAD diet?
SAD, yeah. Standard American diet.
Yeah, standard American diet.
Okay.
Garbage.
What people grow up on mostly, meat or whatever. That's what it's typically called. I was brought up on Italian diet mainly, but you can consider it a SAD diet kind of. It's a little better than a SAD diet. A SAD diet is one of the extremes where people are eating fast foods and all that crap. In North America, we have so many cultures. I don't know if there really is an American true diet. It's the fast food diet.
Yeah,
and Canadian
many
cuisine, there really isn't.
Many kids were raised on fast food.
Yeah.
Because their mothers were working.
But there's so many cultures have so many different diets and stuff. A basic European diet would be healthier than a standard American diet.
Fez, you had a question? I see you typed something here.
Fez?
Yeah, if you want to talk. So he's asking, is it because the body allocates all its energy towards cleansing the bowels first? Bowels take preference?
Is what?
I think we were talking about clearing the bowels first before the dry fast.
Can you clear that up, Fez? Exactly what you mean? We're talking about many things, so I want to be clear.
Fez?
Is he on? Fez, can you clarify that for us?
I don't think we can hear. It's okay.
Well, if he's asking questions, he must be able to hear. Let me unmute him. Fez, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to ask is that sorry if I'm not all that loud. I'm in a public setting, but is it that you mentioned earlier that that the bowels need to be cleansed first, or the body will try to cleanse the bowels first before moving on to resolving other ailments. Is that what you were trying to say?
In general, you're talking?
Yeah.
Your body's not going to heal with a GI tract full of crap. No, that's the problem. People are taking herbs, this, that, and the other.
Are you talking from like a? Oh, so from a malabsorption standpoint, that's what you're saying?
Yeah, malabsorption and continually being intoxicated by those toxins that are stuck within the walls interstitially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
being poisoned.
Right. Because I find that, during the master fast or even the dry fast, I feel more sensations, more cleansing sensations in the bowels, above all other things. Like I'll rarely feel a little bit of a cleansing sensation in the kidneys, like in, lower back. But that's not as often as, hearing the bowels.
Are you talking about strong reactions that are uncomfortable, or in general?
Yeah, just general reactions. Yeah. It's like,
well,
yeah.
This is what it's about. We need to clean that GI tract, and the matter, the garbage, the waste comes out through that way and through the urinary tract. The lighter stuff, the interstitial stuff comes through the urine, where the heavy waste matter comes through from the GI tract or the bowels. So we need to move waste. The issue of disease is stagnation. So if kidneys aren't filtering, if the bowels ain't moving properly, you're getting it sick. That's our society. Everybody's constipated. Even if they're going to the bathroom, they're still constipated interstitially because of obstructions of foreign matter that is not supposed to be in the human body, whether it's through foods, environments, through emotions, etc., etc. These all cause physical manifestations, obstructions in the human body at all levels, and that's our disease. It all starts on the emotional level. Some of them can start through the environment, but they're all one of the same because we are part of the environment. Did that clear for you?
Yeah. I was just trying to get at the idea that you'd probably expect to see your, if you have, like, for example, I have what they call carpal. I have that wrist pain, and amongst other problems. So I would imagine that after having the bowels, then be able to address those other issues after having the bowels cleansed.
How many days have you done Master Fast?
Seems I did I did my own version like a year ago for like 5 months, but I did the master fast for about 90 days and I broke it. And intermittently I've been doing dry fasting. The most I did was like 5 days. And
you haven't resolved your carpal tunnel?
No, I haven't.
Wow.
I mean, it's improved, but it's still, it's still there.
You got to dig deeper, Fez.
And
you got to dig deeper. What's your age?
28.
Wow. You look at your eyes. How are your genetics?
You said that they were strong, but I have a ton of sulfur.
Okay, well, yeah, that sulfur is a big issue. Like I have that problem too now. That's a big issue when you have sulfur. You got to just get on another one and really get on the psyllium. Focus on doing as much psyllium as you can handle. Help pull it out. It will pull it out. So you just got to go deeper. If you've already got improvement, so you just got to go deeper. You haven't reached the point to completely solve it. That's all it is. A lot of people with joint pains and everything, usually they can resolve them anywhere between 60 and 90 days. Some take longer. But all the joint pains start going away.
Yeah. And also the whole like filtration, like you said, I have moments of like just clear. It's just completely clear, and then I'll have some filtration, but nothing compared to what what you'd want to have. Like I haven't achieved that, like what you'd want to have, that amount that you see other people hosting.
Do you, what stress levels do you have in your life with work and so on and so forth?
It's I'd say moderate. It's not like it can be pretty intense sometimes, but
pay attention when you're filtering, not filtering, what stresses you have in your life, your emotional level, because as I've talked about, kidneys, number one, have their own free will, and you need to take charge of them, but you need to nurture them. You need to love them. So if you're going on an emotional roller coaster ride, you're not going to be filtering. I've seen it in myself. You need to be stable, and you need to support them every which way you can. And it over time, it doesn't happen overnight. You're going to get more and more filtering. Will you see filtering all the time? You should see something once they start opening properly. Even if it's a small amount of snowflakes, you're going to always see something. You're not going to always get heavy sediment. And the deeper you go with the fasting and dry fasting, the deeper you need to go to pull out those really locked in toxins and the sulfur and all that. So, at the beginning when I started doing a dry fasting for a while, I was getting tons and tons of sediment. Now I have to go longer on the dry fast to get the heavy sediment. This is what happens because you're going in layers of the onion, right? And it's got to go deeper, deeper, deeper. So you just got to have patience. Just continue doing what you're doing. By showing yourself that you've got already some benefit, you're on the right track.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah. So it's just that you have to have that faith and confidence to keep it going. Don't fall off track. Have your goals written down and continue what you're doing. Don't worry about how long it takes, because it is a 7 to 9 year journey. That's what it is. That's the truth of the matter. Some of you might feel completely rejuvenated in 3 to 4 years, but when you get to 7 to 9 years, you're going to feel even more rejuvenated. So, it's just a matter of thing that you have to make it part of your lifestyle, and just keep it going. You're doing great. Just keep it going. We see miracles happen in 108 days and less, but it's just the beginning. Just the beginning. That's all it is.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Cara Lee, you had a question. Do you want to share it with us? Can you talk? You had a question about your thyroid, right? It was removed. Yeah, so she's asking, has anybody experienced or has knowledge about successfully regenerating organs or glands or tonsils? Her thyroid was surgically removed.
Dr. Morse talks about that. He's seen thyroid go back. Tonsils, that's common. Well, he mentioned one guy grew them back 3 times, but that's known. The tonsils can grow back as well. I believe everything can be regenerated. The issue is, are you going to focus on doing whatever it takes, no matter how long, no matter what? Those are the 3 things that you need to answer, and only you can answer. No matter, whatever it takes, no matter how long, no matter what. If you are determined and you focus, you can regenerate anything. Because especially what we've learned through these dry fasts, these longer dry fasts, you have access to the blueprint. You don't get a paralyzed guy walking if you can't regenerate anything. That's one of the toughest things to heal is nerve damage, paralysis, neurological.
Right.
And Gabriel has mastered it. You can read his story. I put up his video. He was completely paralyzed on his right side. I don't think he's here today. And he's walking now and swimming. He's about 80-85% recovered from paralysis, folks. How amazing is that? How amazing is that? So don't let anybody tell you that something is not possible, because it's not true. It's everything is possible. It's your belief system is the only thing that's going to keep you from accessing complete recovery, regeneration. It's only a belief system.
Yeah, I think it's possible. Yeah.
If you don't do the work,
Yeah.
ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen.
We're also working on the psychic mask that's surrounding that area.
Yeah. So everything goes in hand. The emotion, the intent is trumps all. That's the key. That's why you need to write down to manifest it into physicality, because we're here. Writing does something. It's a connection to our spirit soul somehow to be able to do what we need to do in the physicality. So write it down and then just follow through and do. We have the tools now to help us as we keep learning and expanding. Things will happen more and more. The latest on plasma science is they've been experimenting, injecting plasma, liquid plasma GANs into cancer patients, and immediately the cancer cells start dissipating and changing back to healthy cells very quickly. It's able to be, you're able to watch it. So this is all stuff that's being worked in the background in the Keshe Spaceships Institute. We'll be seeing more and more of this in the near future. Magical stuff. We'll be able to mend bones instantaneously. We'll be able to mend severed fingers, arms, legs instantaneously. This is all fairy tale to our belief system, but it's not when you understand creation and you can tap into it. Master Fast will be extinct eventually, as I see it. It'll just expand into different realms of more into the plasma, because we've paid the price for many thousands of years being ignorant and being enslaved. So it's time to come out of that and tap into the knowledge of how creation works. Somebody has their mic open?
Oh, I'm sorry, Gino. I did have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is a different subject, but on the MFS, would it be advantageous to, say, add a bit of cayenne pepper to the juice because it's an accelerator or a catalyst?
Well, the general thought on old herbalism is to use tons of cayenne pepper because it's so beneficial.
No, I mean, I come from Dr. Morse's school, so
okay.
We said a little bit.
If you're using any circulation herbs, we have some cayenne in there. If you're to add a pinch of cayenne, yeah, no big deal. Sure, why not? It's a herb. I don't have any issue with people wanting to add herbs to the program. The more the merrier. I love herbs when you're on the program. But for one singular herb, no, we don't do that. We use a variety and a mixture so we get a synergy of herbs. Yeah, put a pinch of cayenne if you like it. If you want to put a little ginger in your tea, in your juice, yeah, sure. I can't see it doing any harm. It will probably benefit some people. I think I've talked about this before. The reason we use a multiple herbal formula, many herbs in one formula, is the astrology behind the herbology. Every herb has an astrological sign, and some do better with certain herbs than others. So when you have multiple herbs in a formula, that formula can benefit pretty much everybody Whereas if you're using singular formula herbs, that may only benefit a certain amount of people. So this is the brilliance of Dr. Morse, multiple herbs in a formula. That's the way I see it. And I have a friend of mine who's a master herbalist, very well versed in astrology in herbs, and he's taught me a lot. I'm not no expert or specialist in that, but I don't want to be. That's not my focus to be a herb into the herbs. All I need to do is use formulas and know how to use the formulas, and that's all we need to do. So that's the basics of why we're using herbs in multiple, many herbs in multiple herbs in one formula. That's the purpose behind it, and it's brilliant because I can put everybody on the 9 and I get results on everybody. I haven't seen anybody not get results. So it's beautiful. It's magical. It works. The system works. Cheers. Anybody else have any questions, or we're running out of time soon?
Hi, Gino. How are you?
Hey, Robert. I'm good.
Hi. So I wanted to ask, I don't know if it's so much a question, but maybe like more like a theory. So I only did 38 days fast.
Not only. Good effort.
So I'm not an expert or anything like that, and I know many people have done a lot longer.
Yeah, none of us are experts, Robert. We're all learning.
Yeah. So I just was wondering, because I remember when I broke my fast, I used watermelon, and I used half of watermelon, and I ate a little less than half, and it was so satisfying. I mean, I was full even before I broke the fast.
But you still wanted to eat.
Yes, but no, actually, I was full and I did not want to eat. I was not hungry anymore. I have so much energy.
Wow.
I was very well. I was very healthy. Even before I broke the fast, I started feeling better, because I know it was coming, and so I noticed that. And then when I had the watermelon, it was so emotional, I almost felt like crying. I don't know. It was just weird.
Yeah.
But it was so good. And I believe that I could have went then after having that watermelon, I could have probably went another week without having any food. But my mind, now I knew, okay, now I broke the fast. Now I can eat. So it's a mind thing now. And okay, what else I want to put in my mouth? And after about a couple of hours, I had the other half of the watermelon. And okay, it was amazing, but it wasn't as good as the first time. It didn't taste as good. And then I had some dates. So I introduced something else in my mouth because I wanted this, the satisfaction that you get from eating. So I was putting dates in my mouth, and I was like, oh my God, this is great. And, the next day, I had watermelon again, and that's it. The amazing taste of this watermelon, it wasn't there anymore as it was when you first broke fast. So I was thinking, okay, maybe instead of letting your mind to start putting stuff in your mouth again, all of a sudden, next day, okay, now I can eat. So you start to put stuff in your mouth and eat all the fruit. What if you could wait another couple of days until you're really hungry, maybe again, and instead of when you're hungry, wait until the hunger passes and then eat the watermelon, then you really enjoy it again, and then they'll give another break instead of kind of going back eating fully every day.
Who says we need to every day? Who says that?
Yeah, well, nobody says, but in my mind was when I broke the fast, okay, now I can eat. So I wanted to, and the more you eat, the more you want, and it's never satisfying. It's like a drug.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the watermelon is not enough. The dates are not enough. Then I want the greens now.
Yep.
So now I'm putting the greens in my mouth, and it's like, oh my God, this tastes so good. And then the greens are not enough anymore. And then more.
We've all been there, Robert. We've all been there on these fasts.
It doesn't stop. So maybe I thought the secret, what I could try the next time is, okay, when the time comes when I break my fast, I have the watermelon, I enjoy it, and then go again long time until you know, I feel I cannot go anymore, and try not to associate the hunger. So don't eat when I feel so hungry, but wait when the hunger passes, and then maybe go have a little watermelon, and then leave it alone again. Maybe that's the way to get to this, you know, vegetarianism, maybe living off air more, and then maybe just eating fruits occasionally that way, instead of just keep thinking that you need to put fruit every day and maybe eating the veg, because it never stops. Because the more you eat, the more you want. And
Yeah, well, this is the only way we're going to be able to learn is through experience. And everything you're saying has all truth to it because you've experienced it, you know. And this is where, over time, like this is your first fast, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So you have no experience, but you've done 38 days in your first fast. That's amazing. So, you know, now, you know, prepare for your next one, wherever that may be, whenever you're ready, and you're going to see it's going to be a different experience. And then when you break it, it'll be a different experience. And then, you know, then the third one, and then the fourth one. And then you're going to see everything we've been taught is an illusion. Because, as you say, you know, when you do that, and then you were satisfied, but then later you ate again.
Yeah.
Why do we eat? Because we're already satisfied. But emotionally, we're saying, oh, well, now I can eat. So you eat, overeat. We're overeating.
Yeah. You want the taste, you know, want that fix again. You want to experience it again and again and again, but you don't need it.
No, our stomach is only the size of our fist. So think about how much food that, in reality, that's all you really need to eat. So basically a big one large mango, 2-3 bananas maybe, you know, a small piece of watermelon or cantaloupe. We don't need much food. When the body is clean, that's when the key happens. It's the reason we eat so much is because nothing is getting utilized properly, and we're really hungry because the body's using energy to digest all this food, and it's not enough because it can't absorb it, and you need more and more and more. And that's the relentless eating patterns that we have. Like really, maybe, you know, we need to eat, if you want to eat once, twice a week, 3 times a week. Once you clean the body, if you really want to eat, you just eat for fun. There'll come to a point that you really never get hungry if you get clean enough. You'll just want to, if you want to continue to eat, you'll eat just for pleasure purposes. Let's put it that way. You can come to that point if you want. So that's why I do a lot of dry fasting, because the clarity of the mind, the way I feel and everything, it's a much better state. I love to eat still. That's my problem, like most of us. I love food. So, but I try and minimize. So, you know, we are living part-time breatharian, whether we're eating every day or not. We're living part-time breatharian, you know. Most of the day we're not eating. You know, they're only eating so many hours a day. If you're eating 1 meal a day, 2 meals, 3 meals a day. So, you know, we just go along and learn and understand how it works. Did your hair grow back quite a bit?
My hair?
Yeah.
My nails and stuff. I noticed my hair maybe a little bit. I had to shave. Shaved off my beard. But the nails I noticed, yes.
Yeah.
But I noticed that when I was doing dry fast as well, there was periods when there's just this boost of growth.
Yeah. Where does it come from? You have to ask yourself that question. If you're not taking in anything, where does it come from? That's the power of going within. You have the access to infinite abundance. Infinite abundance. Remember that, folks. The infinite abundance is within, not out. Once we learn that and understand it and keep practicing it, there'll be a time where, wow, we get it and we'll believe it 100%. We're not all there. It's okay. It's okay. But we're moving towards that to expand. Somebody else, go ahead, ask your question. Raza, is that how you pronounce your name?
It's actually Rousseau, but you can just call me Ross.
Ross.
Yeah. Okay, so I watched a video by a man called Phil Valentine. Okay, he made a video called The Metasomatic Death, and in that he related the atoms of the cells to the sun. The sun doesn't eat anything, but it recharges its energy, you know? Now that might be from different processes like magnetic fields going around the sun from the planets or whatever, but it's a relevant relation, you know. It's quite interesting.
Exactly. It's our belief system, folks. That's all that's holding us back. Me and everybody else. It's the only thing holding us back from going within to our true essence of one creation, where we have the access to everything we need. And it's ingrained in us so deep, in our RNA, not our DNA, in our RNA. The RNA is the software. It's reprogrammable. The DNA is the hardware. That cannot be changed. So, you know, we can reprogram. How long is it going to take? I don't have the answer. As long as it takes, it doesn't matter. But for us talking about it and knowing that it's possible, because there are people doing it, whether we believe it or not, that in itself is increasing our belief system that we can do it. And that's why I did a 12-day dry fast, and Gabriel's did a 15-day dry fast. And so did Marion, I believe, did 13 or 15 in Germany. So, you know, and there's other people who've done, you know, these long dry fasts. You will, once you get into these long dry fasts after a couple of years, you will be amazed what happens after the 7 to 9 day dry fast. It's unexplainable. You have to experience it. I can't describe it in words. So we just keep going and moving along with what we've learned so far. Massive Fast is doing a very good job at being able to help people, and we'll continue to expand as at whatever rate it's supposed to. We've come to the 2-hour mark. I think we'll end it because that's where we want to keep it at, 2 hours. I'm thinking about maybe doing another day, or maybe doing another day in the morning, like a Sunday morning, or doing maybe one day Saturday morning, one weekend Saturday evening, to be able to connect to different time zones. I'm thinking about doing that. Today we have the biggest turnout for live calls. People are liking this. I like it. I like interacting instead of just typing all the time. There's no emotions people can feel or anything. I'm just getting information through to you to help you on the board. Don't take anything personally. It's just to help. That's all it is. It's sharing. Yeah.
For me, it was a couple times hard to find the link. Like, it's good that they found the link in the comments. Can you post next time when you do like Zoom, like a post, so that like it stays on top, not like a comment like of the main post, but like a post that the Zoom is starting for people to see it, because many might come in the page, but they don't check that main thread. And like, I couldn't see it for a while. Well, it's good that they could see, like they would check those comments.
The pinned post is, you can only have one pinned post, right?
But not pinned post. When you're gonna make it, like a half an hour or an hour before. He does. He posts.
I do. I did today, but there's so many people, it goes down very quickly.
Going, right? Maybe I just come and it's like already, I didn't check. Scroll up, scroll down.
But if you go on the pinned post in comments, the info for the Zoom is there. And then I post usually a few hours before, day before, when I remember. You know, I'm doing them every week. Unless something comes up, I'll post that I can't do it. But I'm going to be trying to do it every week at this time. And like I said, I'm thinking about doing another one in the morning to help different time zone.
It seems like our friend Alex has a question.
I don't know if you have time.
I don't know if you have time.
Quick question, sure.
Alex, are you there?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Hi, Alex.
Oh, great. Hey guys. Thanks for the entrance. I have a quick question about, I've ordered the herbs, but later I realized that I have a chemical deposit right where my pancreas is, and I looked it up, and it's basically the exact same. It describes about the things that I'm experiencing, which is bad processing of sugar. Basically, I'm just, and I looked it up, and it seems very similar to type 1 diabetes. Not that it matters having any labels or anything, but I'm just wondering if it would help to have a pancreas tincture, because I do have the Divine 9.
What do you have? You have the liver formula, right?
Yeah.
The liver formula has some pancreas herbs, and the pancreas herbs has some liver formula. So, you know, when you're doing these, if you're going to finish a set and you want to go to the other one, you go to the other one. So we don't use always the same herbs. That's the purpose of them. So they feed each other.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
No issues there. But who are you talking about? They, the doctors giving you these?
No, I didn't say they. At least I don't recall. I just remember looking it up online because I didn't know what the pancreas was responsible for. And when I looked it up, it described its responsibility and actions described what I was experiencing, which is headaches from sugar if I don't eat for a while, and frequent urination and hunger, over hunger. I'm super skinny. That's another one. And I eat more than any partner I've ever had.
Well, it's yeah, maybe you can gain weight by eating if you're in that situation. Yeah, so you understand once you're in the fast and you're on the minimum 4 that we described, the absolute minimum, those are the gateways that we work on for elimination. And all the organs and glands have to eliminate their waste through the kidneys. That's why we focus so much on the kidneys. So when you're in a fast, number one, we're working on the whole body. You can't just focus on certain things, but we're aiding the elimination organs and glands and GI tract with a lot of focus on with herbs. So you can't really go wrong the way we work with herbs when you're on Master Fast. Everything supports everything else. So you'll be fine. Just you got to get that GI tract clean, and don't focus on your weight. You're going to go to Skin and Bones most likely. Evo, I don't think he's on. He went to a concentration camp. He's already gained, I think, 10 pounds already when he broke his 108 days. So, you know, don't let that thing worry you about the weight. Everybody feels fantastic, but they lose all their weight. No big deal. So, one more, and that's it.
Carly is asking what dosage of parathyroid glandular is recommended for somebody without a thyroid. She has vision.
I don't put people ever on glandulars myself. You're going to have to speak to somebody who prescribes those. I don't agree with them. I've experimented with them. I don't like using animal parts, even though I'm not vegan. Yeah, we don't need them. We don't need them. I don't believe we need them. You got to clean out the GI tract. Focus on that and get the kidneys opened up, and things just start happening. If you want to use glandulars, it's your choice. And people who do prescribe glandulars, they only put people on them temporary, you know, 1 or 2 bottles, and you're on the herbs. So that's your choice. I don't recommend them. And we'll call it a night. All right. Thank you guys for joining us. It's been great.
Thank you so much.
Keep sharing, keep spreading that plasma love, and till next time, we'll see you on the board.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gino.
Bye.
Gino.
Bye.
Thank you, Gino.
You're welcome. See you guys.
Good night.
Good night.
Yeah.
Take it easy. Ciao.